famous Universal Studios tour. As you climb on board this vehicle, scoot all the way to the right-hand side so you can make sure to use up all available seats. If you have any very small children with you, say their feet can't touch the floor and they're sitting right at the edge of one of these rows, now would be the time to move them a little closer to the center for safety reasons. You can't turn it up anymore. This is full volume. Let's try a different outlet. Does that sound any better? Okay, my name is Paul. I'm going to be your guide today as we lift the veil of secrecy on some of Hollywood's hottest filming locations. As they close these gates off the sides, watch your hands, arms, and legs. Make sure nothing gets caught in there. And if you did not pick up a pair of 3D glasses, raise your hands up high so we can get some food before we take off. You're going to want those when the time comes. You don't need to wear them for the entire tour. You'll know when to put them on. But once we start driving, it will be too late to get a pair. So make sure you have some before we take off. You're on board one of our very first electric trams that we're incorporating into our fleet of vehicles. Here to tell you more about our green initiative is Al Roker.
So once again, folks, as you come down, please go all the way down to doors 3 and 4. Try to stand on the star, but if there are no stars available, stand behind the stars. So we're going to get you on as soon as
these trams roll out, guests will be experiencing all the movie-making action propelled by the latest energy-efficient technology. Now, this is just one example of NBC Universal's and Comcast's commitment to becoming carbon neutral by 2035, helping us all take another step toward reducing our carbon footprint. So, welcome aboard for an awesome experience that's also awesome.
Keep moving all the way down if you are not standing on a star. Thank you so much for your cooperation, folks.
Last call for 3D glasses before we take off. Goodbye to all those beautiful people waiting in line. Goodbye. As we head away from the theme park and move deep into the heart of a real working studio where some of Hollywood's biggest names come to work every single day. Once again, my name is Paul, and I'm going to be your guide on this beautiful Los Angeles afternoon. I am, however, not driving this vehicle. I'm sitting backwards. That'd be a horrible idea. But we do have a driver. He's the best in the biz. His name is Mike. Let's give it up for Mike. I love you, Mike. Thanks for driving. Without him, we'd be sitting on that load line for an hour, and that would be a horrible tour. So let's hope this one's a little better than that. We've also got a co-host on today's tour. You may recognize him as the host of NBC's That's My Jam. And tonight's show star Jimmy Fallon. It is, of course, Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You got the very best guide.
Oh.
And the greatest driver.
Mike.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Mike
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
That is right, Jimmy. We do have a few safety rules to go over real quick. First and foremost, if you have any emergencies of any kind, medical emergency, drop anything over the side of the tram, audio or visual problems, reach up, pull the red cord running down the center of the tram ceiling. I'll be back to assist as soon as it's safe to do so. No note about dropped items. There are several areas on the tour where I cannot get off the vehicle. If you drop your item in any of those areas, you are not going to get it back until the end of the night, so just make sure to hang tight on everything. You might not want to make phone calls. Here are the safety rules at least. I mean, if you're in front car, you don't want to make a phone call at all, but at least listen to the safety rules. There's going to be a lot of movement on this vehicle today, so we want everyone to stay seated the entire time, keeping your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. There's going to be some fire effects on the attraction. There's going to be some water effects too. Tons of great photo opportunities. But watch out for those cameras to make sure they stay dry. Oh, the fire station's all closed up. Got a fire station off the right hand side. I'll tell you about that in a second. No smoking of any kind on this tour. That includes vape pens. Finally, for your safety and those around you, no use of selfie sticks are permitted while on board this vehicle. Alright, that does it for the safety rules. Now we're heading down our timeline. Off the right hand side, you're going to see some movie posters representing just a few of the thousands of movies that we made here over the years. You saw our fire station back there. We kind of function like our own little city. We also got our own sheriff's office, gas station, DMV, post office, restaurants. The only thing we don't have are residential complexes. And in the place of houses and condos and stuff, we have sound stages. First sound stage on this tour is just off to the left-hand side, stage 12. It's our oldest sound stage on the front lot. At one point, it was our largest as well. It's some of the biggest sets ever constructed, and right inside that building. Take a look at your screens now. You can see what a soundstage looks like on the inside before they build any sets. It essentially looks like a huge soundproof warehouse. We love filming inside of our sound stages because we have complete control of the elements when we do. All the weather effects, all of the lighting. We control all of that from inside these buildings without worrying about what's going on in the real world. Off to the left, we're passing by several sound stages. Some of these are where they film Superstore, Grand Prix, most recently Bel Air, which is streaming on our Peacock series.
So what is you put egg on the cheese? You put cheese on the eggs, on the cheese. It's fine. Whoa, this is bigger. It's gotta be a lot. We could probably fit the whole Bel Air cast and crew. No, we gotta get one of these for the mansion. For sure. You're lucky to know the dates from the mansion lives right here on the Universal lot. Right? Some of Bel Air's most pivotal scenes have been filmed right here. Jabari, what have been your most memorable moments? I don't know. I mean, there's so many to choose from. You know, I remember before your set where Will first enters, and at that moment, his life changes forever. Well, the Bel Air Academy gym set is here too, and I remember we sit there cool, nice bath. Yeah, that was great. I can't feel my toes. No, but seriously, my favorite part of this lot is the talented crew who put it all together from hair, wardrobe, makeup, set design, props, and transportation. Transpo, yes! You know, Transpo's the best. You know, got the sweetest rides for us to play with. Speaking of, if we're gonna get a ride like this, we'd better go talk to Transpo now and let these people get back to their tour. Yeah, that sounds good. Tell me about this job. No, not got the keys. Come on, man.
Off to the left-hand side, we're passing by 4 sound stages. All 4 of these sound stages were used in the show Parenthood. 17 is where they filmed both seasons of Mr. Mayor. 18 is where they filmed the sitcom Coach, starring Craig T. Nelson, as well as episodes of Good Girls. The last soundstage coming up off to the right, 19, is where they filmed The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. If you're a fan of that show, a little later we're going to see some of the exteriors of where they filmed that show. Off to the left, as we enter our production bungalow area, we've got Ted toasting you with a huge beer to celebrate the release of his new series on Peacock.
Hi everyone, Seth MacFarlane here, and I'm excited to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at my...
Yeah, that clip likes to do that. Let me try again.
Hi everyone, Seth MacFarlane here, and I'm excited to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at my Peacock original event series, TED. It's a prequel series set in 1993. That means our skilled craftspeople had to build a high school, a house, and even recreate downtown Boston as it looked back in the day, using exterior sets and facades that you're about to see on the tour. But I should warn you, TED is intended for mature audiences only. So grown-ups, tell the kids to go in the other room before you watch. Oh, come on!
Off to the left, we're passing by some offices that belong to some of the top writers, directors, and producers working in this town. Bungalow 5195, right there with a very famous profile on the side, belonged, well, when he was in his, back when he worked with us in his lifetime, to Sir Alfred Hitchcock, one of our most established filmmakers here in Virginia.
Good evening. My name is Alfred Hitchcock. We all go a little mad sometimes.
leaving behind our front lot. We're going to be entering the back lot. It's where we film the big stuff. The exterior shot on a very large scale. We do have our last few sound stages just off to the left-hand side, where they currently film Lopez versus Lopez. It's also where they filmed the revival of Will and Grace. The very first production to use those sound stages was Hairspray Live. Well, the interior sets were built inside these buildings, right across the street from our Metro sets, which were completely dressed up to look like Baltimore in the 1960s for that production. I'm going to drive through our Metro sets and tell you about the street as we pass through it. This first street here, coming up off to the right-hand side, is our world-famous Brownstone Street. Been used in a variety of productions over the years. Fan of The Voice, when they're doing their blind auditions, they're walking down a bustling Metropolitan street, and then they walk into a building to do the auditions. This is actually the street they're walking down. So we have background actors walking back and forth. Is someone in there? Walking back and forth. We have vehicles driving back and forth in circles around them, making it look like it's an actual street. So it's the big building with the tilted panes of glass. That's the one that they walk into. Just picture that with the Voice logo painted on it. And then they cut the camera right when they walk in, because they don't actually film it in there. We're now leaving Brownstone Street behind and entering Courthouse Square, where you're more likely to recognize it.
It was actually the back lot of the Courthouse Square that inspired the entire climax of Back to the Future.
I had scenes up in the plateau on that ledge. It was a ledge about that wide. And I was standing inside looking at the ledge, and I already had vertigo. I just thought there's no way in the world, no way I'm going to stand on that. I was up there for quite a while. Of course, I had a cable.
This area was also a popular filming location for the show Ghost Whisperer, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt, aired for 5 seasons. Both seasons of Rutherford Falls filmed right here. Very first episode ever of the original Twilight Zone filmed right here as well, as did a number of other productions over the years. Down New York Street, one of our most popular filming locations on the entire backlot. It's a lot easier to come out here to our fake city and film than it is to go to the heart of a real metropolitan area, where you're going to have to get filming permits, which are very expensive. You're going to have to hire police officers to cordon off streets, reroute traffic. You have to deal with all the sounds of the city. If there's construction happening on the next street, it's going to mess up all your audio. There's all kinds of headaches that you have to deal with when you're filming on location in a real city that you don't have to deal with here in our fake city. Of course, you're not going to have quite as much control as you would inside of a sound stage, where you can block out all the sound of the real world and control all the lighting, but you're going to have far more control than you would in a real city. My co-host, Mr. Jimmy Fallon, is no stranger to filming in New York. That's where he filmed Saturday Night Live, his last talk show, The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon as well. Here he is to tell us a little more about what it's like filming in the Big Apple.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York! I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there. An old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey! I'm walking here! I'm walking here! Hey, it's cool guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
New York Street, I mentioned, is one of our most popular filming locations. One of our most regular productions out here is American Ninja Warrior. They build their obstacle course all the way up and down the street. It's pretty incredible looking when they do. They're out here about once a season. New York Street doesn't only double as New York, though. It has certainly been New York countless times, like episodes of Seinfeld, How I Met Your Mother, and The Amity Project. But it's also been Los Angeles in Michael Bay's Transformers. It was Boston in Public Enemies, completely different time period for that production as well. It's the 1930s. This area was London in Austin Powers' The Spy Who Shagged Me, and that was the 60s for that production. So we are able to have a lot of versatility with these sets, make them look like a wide variety of different types of metropolitan areas all over the world, any kind of different time period as well. The street was also Chicago and the Blues Brothers.
When the Pinto fell and you saw it land and make this big hole in the street, that was on the back lot. We dropped it from a crane. You dig like that in Chicago, you're not a good idea.
When people ask me, all of the movies I've ever done, what was the most satisfying and the most fun, I've got to say Blues Brothers. We got to sing, we got to dance, got to drive and train with the best stunt people in the world, and got to be an actor and a writer. So it was a good piece of work.
Danny called John America's Guest because just you walk into anybody's house.
During the shooting of the movie, John was missing. We couldn't find him.
Danny went off looking for him and saw a light on in this one house and knocked on the door.
I said, sir, we're doing a movie down here. We're looking for one of our actors. Oh, John, yeah, he's on my couch. He came in, he had a snack a couple hours ago. He's sleeping. He was America's Guest. I mean, literally that happened.
Most of the buildings that you see around us are what we call facades, which means false front. Basically, where we just build the front and sides of the building and nothing else. That's why in that example from The Voice I gave you, they don't film inside that building, because take a look at your screens. That's what it looks like on the inside. Not very convincing. In fact, the sun is kind of hitting this glass building off to the right, just right. You can see that it is not built to any sort of code in there. You can see on the second floor the wood panels that are kind of holding it up. You can see that bare wooden stairwell. That's actually the back of the building that I just pointed out. That's the back of the Voice building. So this is the same building. Can't actually film anything in there. So if we're filming in our Metro sets, we're pretty much just using these for exteriors, and then we'll film the interiors later on at a different point in the production. And those interiors will usually be built inside of our sound stages. This little corner that we're driving past right now, right just off to the right-hand side, there's a little bit of art decoration going on. Cars 3 and 4, you might not really see it that well, but we're going to drive by. There's like a barber shop. It says Jamal's Barber Shop. If you watch the show Bel Air, this was a scene they were just filming last week. So that's why this little corner is decorated. And then the other, this blue trimmed building looks like it's a pawn shop. I don't know. Obviously, I haven't seen the episode yet, so I don't know what it's going to be. But it looks like they have a bunch of junk in the windows. Well, not junk, but furniture. Maybe it's a furniture store. I don't know. But this little corner is totally dressed to look like there was actual businesses inside those buildings. They look really good. Look very convincing. If you saw those on camera, you wouldn't think that's a hollow building, but they are. So the interiors, when you watch that episode, when it goes to inside the barbershop, it's not right there. When it goes to inside whatever that other store is, furniture shop, I don't know if scenes happen inside those stores, but if they do, they're going to be inside of our sound stages and sets built to look like them. I actually have kind of an example of how that breaks down right here. Take a look.
Grace, the dog!
I'm in the shower!
Okay, so this shot was not filmed in our Metro sets. This is built inside one of our sound stages. It was built to look like the interior of Bruce Almighty's apartment, but it was not filmed on our Metro sets. But take a look at the very next cut.
Outside good. Inside bad, outside good.
Okay, so this was filmed on our Metro sets on Brownstone Street, the first street that we drove past when we came in here. In fact, the way this scene is you would have seen us driving perpendicular past the camera in the background, past those buildings. That's where we're at right now. That's the angle that the camera was facing, if you can kind of, mentally noodle out the geography of how this works. These two scenes, even though they were filmed weeks apart from each other and in completely different locations, they were just married together in the editing process. and our brains, which work in a very linear fashion, see someone go from inside of a building to outside of a building. That doesn't look strange to us in a movie or TV show, because that's what happens in our everyday lives. But in reality, the interiors and exteriors are usually completely different.
Oh, you're done now.
The tree he's leaning on, the sign behind him, the small patch of grass he set his dog on, none of that stuff was actually on Brownstone Street when we drove past it, right? If you take a look around at our metro sets, they look good, but aside from that corner that I just pointed out that looks great, most of these little areas don't really look like they're quite ready for filming, right? We're going to have to put in different light posts, mailboxes, picture cards. We're going to have to paint signs on some of the windows. We change all of that around for every production. And as our art directors, we come out and do that so we can fully suspend our disbelief so that everything looks nice and convincing and B-E-A. But otherwise, we keep our sets sort of like a clean slate. That way the art directors can come and have full reign to make them look like they're going to be London or Chicago or Boston or New York or Los Angeles in the 30s or 40s or 60s. That's why we have such versatile sets, is the art directors are really some of the unsung heroes of this industry, because we're literally always seeing the work they do. We're always seeing their choices, even though we're not always recognizing that there were people behind all of the choices that we're seeing on camera. So let's take a moment to look back at some of the best art direction that Universal Studios films have to offer. Here at Universal over the years, including, of course, Academy Award-winning director Peter Jackson, who's made such films as Meet the Feebles, Bad Taste, Dead Alive, Heavenly Creatures, Forgotten Silver, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Lovely Bones, Frighteners, Stephen's Get Back, They Shall Not Grow Old, The Hobbit trilogy, and of course, 2005's version of King Kong.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up an adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island. We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong. He's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature with Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive. They're full of emotion. His eyes are like a window into his personality and his heart. He's had an enormous number of encounters with his foes, the T-Rexes and the various dinosaurs on Skull Island, so he's been beaten up, scarred, chewed up, spat out by these dinosaurs at various times, and he wears the scars of a lot of ancient battles.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember to remain seated the entire time. Secure all loose belongings. Don't interrupt anything in here. Refrain from using any flat photography or lights of any kind. Welcome. That epic battle was projected on some of the world's largest digital 3D screens, standing over 40 feet high, 180 feet wide, utilizing the most advanced technology by Fallon. The film was designed by Peter Jackson and the team at Weta Effects. Filmmakers have held several high-profile special effects projects.
directions. There's creatures coming out, and we're seeing crawling from this side and T-Rexes from the other side. Looking at a movie, we always know where people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on. Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions. Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts. Because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Very slow process getting that film made, but now we're going to talk about something much faster, which are our picture cars. Picture car is any car you see on screen during a movie or TV show. Whether it's actually driving or not is irrelevant. Might not even have an engine inside of it for sound recording purposes. Might be cut in half, kind of like that taxi cab you saw in the Jimmy Fallon Metro set video. But if you see any part of it, it's a picture car. Coming up off to the left, some of the most famous picture cars ever put on film. If you don't know what one of these vehicles is from, take a look at the sign behind it. That should clue you in. In fact, several of these vehicles have become just as famous as the people who have driven them.
Look out!
Vehicles on that timeline. We've got one from our Fast and Furious franchise, our biggest series here at Universal. We've got a lot of Fast and Furious action in store for you a little later in the tour. But yeah, we've got quite a few of those movies in the can so far. The newest additions to that picture car lineup are the yellow Ford from the George Lucas film American Graffiti, the very first car that you saw, and the Fry's Electronics van from Jordan Peele's newest film Nope. And if you're a fan of Nope, we have some of the sets from that movie a little later toward the end of the tour as well, with Jupiter's Claim on the back set or on the Backlot to show you those. Of course, we saw several Jurassic Park vehicles back there as well. We see a few more of those right now as we enter the Jungle Island off the coast.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
And take a look around, you're going to see some props of vehicles from the Jurassic Park films. Off to the left, mobile lab unit from the Lost World. It's the same mobile lab unit that dangles precariously over the cliff's edge in a very exciting scene from that film. Uh-oh. Also got some empty dinosaur cages. Probably warn you, some of our dinosaurs have gotten out. That mobile lab unit scene from the Lost World I was just telling you about. Watching this scene, keep in mind that for several shots in this sequence, including the image I've just paused on your screens, this is not actually a mountainside that the mobile lab unit is being pushed over. This is just a parking structure here at Universal Studios that we dressed to look like a cliff. It's a great example of how we can manipulate our environment when we're making films here at Universal. Another great example of some of the manipulation that we've got going on in this scene is this moment that you're about to see right here when I unpause it. You're going to see Julianne Moore fall all the way from the top of the mobile lab unit down to the bottom, and she's going to hit the glass. It's a pretty cool shot. It was very important for Steven Spielberg to be able to see her face in the shot so that you knew it wasn't a stunt double. It's a tough stunt to accomplish for an actress who's insured for millions of dollars. So the way they actually did what you're about to see is they start her on the glass down at the bottom. She's wearing a harness that they digitally paint out. They hoist her up into the air, and they play that clip in reverse so that it looks like it's falling. It looks like this. Give you a weather demonstration of that exact process. All the sound effects from the thunder, strobe lights to simulate the lightning. And of course, the most important element in any rainstorm is going to be the rain. Create a very sophisticated piece of technology. Well, makes a sprinkler. Now, we have been getting reports of flash floods in this area over the past few days. I think we're going to be okay, though. We're going to stay parked here for a few months. We're going to enjoy this lightning fall when it happens. Into 6 Points, which has some of the oldest sets still standing in Hollywood, some of the most filmed on sets as well. Back in the silent film era, we were making up to 200 westerns a year in and around 6 Points. We still use these sets today. Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood filmed all over these sets. High West is out here a while ago filming scenes for Maxine, the end of his X and Pearl trilogy. Quantum Leap was filming an episode around that same time. So we can throw some dirt down on the streets. Get your actors in some period-appropriate cowboy costumes. Have yourself a pretty convincing little western town right here.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal line.
I heard this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot here.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
Now what say you mount up and get out of town when you're getting good?
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Well, you can count on it, Fallon. Now get.
This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
Off to the left-hand side, got a peaceful little body of water here. Just passes into 4 sound stages, including stage 31, which is currently where they film The Voice. And this body of water off to the left was not quite so peaceful back in the 1950s. That was the original Black Lagoon, the creature from the Black Lagoon. Alright folks, we are about halfway through the tour. A quick reminder to get my attention in case of an emergency. Use that emergency cord, otherwise continue to remain seated, keeping your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. Now, Creature from the Black Lagoon is far from the only monster movie that we've made here at Universal over the years. In fact, our monster movies are the movies that really put us on the map as a studio. Films like Frankenstein, Dracula, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Wolfman, The Mummy, they all filmed right over here in Little Europe. And as you can tell from this green sign off to the right, this is also where they filmed the hit sitcom The Good Place. It's still decorated for that program because nothing else has moved in to start filming since they've moved out. So look around, take a photo while it's still decorated for The Good Place. If you're not familiar, they run your streets.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
As I mentioned, this is most famous because it's where we've filmed scenes from all of our classic Universal monster films over the years. But we didn't stop making monster movies after our heyday of monster films in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. In fact, up until today, we continue releasing some of the most influential horror films that have been put out by any studio. Second, to look back at some of our most great monster movies made here at Universal over the years. The one stands tall amongst all of them is maybe the greatest monster movie of all time. And right now we are heading back to Amity Island. Do remember to remain seated because it tends to get bumpy out here. I don't want you folks to worry because they captured the shark after terrorizing the community. Struck up his rock at night. That shark is dead. My friend George, police diver here, down there in the water.
Get that man out of the water! Now!
Oh my gosh, folks, that dorsal fin is huge. It's headed right to my friend George. Hey, George, get out of the water. You got the wrong shark. Oh. And so many issues with the shark had to have over 100 days to get around the schedule. Everyone thought the movie was going to be a disaster. I'm going to tell you more about that troubled production. Director Steven Spielberg and some of the stars of Jaws.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrated. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited. The shark worked well enough for a while there. So I really owe the shark a lot.
Fallon didn't film anything in the body of water to the left. It was entirely off location. But this was Cabot Cove for every season of Murder, She Wrote. Off to the right, we've got the Chicken Ranch here, made famous by Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds, in a film called The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. It's also the House of 1,000 Corpses, the Rob Zombie film. We're using a few other productions as well. And we're now turning down Colonial Street. This is where Minnie Kaling filmed her show Never Have I Ever. It's also where they filmed that new series, Ted, that I was telling you about a little bit earlier. And this is a clip we have to play now. I'm going to pause it because the entirety of this clip takes place inside one of these houses. So you don't even see the street in the clip. But this house just off to the right now is the house that's on your screen right now. That is the house that the main character lives in. And now enjoy the rest of the clip where you don't see any of the street that we're on.
Let the festivities begin.
How many we got?
Well, let's see. We got 20 cartons.
Fantastic.
Do you think we're getting too old for this?
Oh, come on, Johnny. We're doing a public service here. If a kid leaves the house in a less than stellar Halloween costume, he's got to get the bad news before he makes a fool of himself all over town. We're Samaritans.
Excellent use of our sets, right? That scene also was not even The street is most commonly recognized as Wisteria Lane, the Desperate Housewives.
Oh, really?
If there is one thing everyone in Suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
What's happening? Let's move that.
Drive. We call it Wilderness Road for all of the wildlife that we have living out here. We're going to be passing by some deer crossing signs. Those are real. Sometimes people are like, those prompts for filming. No, these are real animal crossing signs. Got quite a bit of wildlife that lives out here, and some more is moving in. We've got some new members of the Universal family.
At Illumination, we're fortunate to be the stewards of a number of franchises. However, we also have a mission, which is to bring new stories and new characters into the world. Let's fly. In Migration, a family of ducks will embark upon what will become a journey of a lifetime. We meet some funny, silly, likable new characters.
Everything will be all right. Yeah, no, I'm okay. Will you do this?
This movie is a reminder that no matter how fearful we might become, there still is a beautiful world out there to experience.
Now, we've talked about a few filmmakers on this tour so far, John Landis, Alfred Hitchcock, but one of the most respected filmmakers that we work with most frequently is Academy Award winner Steven Spielberg, with one of the most impressive bodies of work under his belt.
When I was about 16 years old, I began hanging out at Universal during my summers. When I went to college nearby, I continued to come on the lot and try to become a director. Universal sort of is my birthplace. This is the place I consider my first home.
And I love it here. And I keep coming back.
Now, adding to the list of great directors that we collaborate with, we are proud to work with Academy Award winner Jordan Peele. And we have his sets from his latest film, Nope, on our backlot now. This is Jupiter's Claim that we're going to be driving you through in just a few moments. Here to tell you more about Jupiter's Claim is the director himself, Mr. Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Share. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Wow. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience, built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so revived anymore. Anyway, behind this holiday fantasy, Gold Rush Frontier lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the green box park. What's that miracle? You're going to find out. Welcome to the world of no. Look, this might be more serious than I thought. What just happened? This is a secure line. Who are you?
I'll tell you who I am, boy. I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation. My name is Special Agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service. And as of 16.917, I'm the man in charge. The hell you are? Let me clue you in on two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness on the Federal Protection Program of motor vehicles. And two, the international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. But you also ruthless as they come. He'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger. Other than that, enjoy the ride.
This is not your jurisdiction.
It is now, stink pickle.
I'm so tired of you stink guys stepping in. Just whatever you feel like.
Mute him.
Don't mute him.
That's better. We're moving your vehicle to a safe location until we have the situation under control. Until then, I want everybody to stay calm. Enjoy the ride. Take care.
This is what we doing. This is the race day after party. And where the other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Bill?
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. I got you. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss. You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something.
You see what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate.
Sean traced us. Hobbs can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll. This is our turn. After them. Okay, guys, it's showtime. Come to the left. Still ain't moving fast enough. Roman, Letty, hook him up. Now we're moving. Not gonna happen. Don't worry, I got this. Roman, don't shoot. Head out the bridge. Under the trenches. Hit the nitrous. Fire and die. Let's get one more round of applause for our driver, Mike. Get this around safely here at 400 acres of Backlot. And don't forget, you can download the Universal Studios Hollywood app if you want us to minute park information, like park hours. We close at 10 tonight. Waytimes for the rides, like I do with the Tram on Super Nintendo World, or showtimes for our hit show, Waterworld. Take a look off to the right for a beautiful view of the lovely San Fernando Valley. Can't beat that view. That about does it for the studio. Stay seated for the next few moments until we pull in the Tram unload and get these gates open. Then head on back into the park and enjoy the rest of your day here at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of the world.
I'm gonna start Guys, light of the image. We're gonna eat what's the shortest we time?
Yeah.
Actually, Jurassic World has we should do that one. The water ride. Is that good?
If you're interested in learning any more about the title,
I don't care about
name is UPH.com. Probably thinking about retail stores, by the way. If you have any questions for me, find me off the side of the page, really load on the keyboard.
Good enough.
It's only